hair all freaking flat. Shit. No. You are not named dunk contest. Yo. Hello, everybody joining in. Be sure to leave a comment so I can see who's in here. But now I need to... Give me a sec, you guys. While I get this link over to Cedric. What up, Zona girl? This cuts off because I'm hitting too many buttons. You know I'll come back, so let me I have to get this link. I'll send it over to him in like 5 minutes. Wait till some people get in here. That's okay with y'all. StreamYard. Or do I get the link from YouTube? All right, let me copy. Ceballos. What's everybody doing on this Friday? What up, Jimenez? Give it about 10 minutes before, 5 to 10 minutes before I have said, join in. Y'all. Share this. Eating tacos. Share this link with a friend so we can show Said some love. I gotta share this too. Let me see if I can share it. Tacos are hot. All right, let me share this link. Share, copy. All right, let me share this link. Facebook. Share, copy. Let me share this link. Facebook. Share, copy. Let me share this link. Facebook. Oh, the echo. Who else is in here? Cindy, what up? Y'all share this link, y'all. I'm gonna give Sid about 5 to 10 minutes before we get him in here. Click link below. Don't want to be looking lame. You know what I'm saying? We need some people in here. All right, where else do I need to post this link? Nurse Viv is currently in the shower, Cindy. Ced will be with us in a few. I want to get some people in here first. Everybody tends to always join late. So I told him I'll give him like 10 minutes. Sonia Rojas, Donut Girl. Cindy says, hey, Derek and Nurse Viv. Where else can I send this out on? Come on, hurry up. Click to join. I got any mods in here? Mom food, cool. Mom food, please don't let anybody get out of hand with my first sports talk guest. Don't let anybody crash the party. That beer is good. No one's gonna have any questions. It's gonna be all me. All right, one more. Send out a tweet. Jesus. Yeah, Jimenez, you should go live tonight. You should. Why wouldn't you go live tonight? All right, got that. Let me go. Twitter. Where is come on, Redub, get in here. Where is Jose? And any Lakers fans from the 90s? Are any Laker fans from the 90s in here? Pete Globe 23. I'm a jumper. We're gonna give Ced about 5 more minutes to get in here, and then we'll start talking. All right, Redub. Just want to get some people in here before I tell Ced to get in here. All right. What else? Jimenez, do you even know who Cedric Ceballos is? Huh, Jimenez? Do you even know who Cedric Ceballos is? Is what I want to know. And what number did Cedric wear? Does anybody know what number Cedric wore for the Lakers? And what number did he wear for the Suns? Nobody can answer that, huh? I see this is going to be all me with the questions. All right, Redub says 23. What number did he wear for the Suns, Redub? When he played with Charles Barkley and Dan Marley. Redub, you might be too young. Come on, Dub. You have no slides. Okay, I don't have any slides, huh? What about photos? 23 is my lucky number, says Pete Globe. 23 too. You Googled it, huh? I was just about to show you. Redub had to Google it, huh? Not Chobadao. He rocked Jordan's numbers for the Lakers and some. Why do you guys think he wore 23? Was he just trying to honor Jordan? I want to know why you guys thought he wore 23. I want somebody to ask him that too. All right, let me tell him to get in here. Oh man, stuff is hot. It's getting to me. Maybe birthday 23. What up, Finney? I hope you have some good questions, Finney. I'm gonna have Cedric join in a second. He should be joining in any minute. So people that come in late, they can just watch the replay because I told him 6 o'clock and I don't want to, I know he's got stuff to do. So and it's 6:06. Man, I need another beer. Something I want to ask you guys before. So who has the who's going for Golden State? Who thought Golden? Who's team in here? Anybody here is a Warriors fan? Candy E's in the house. Who's a Warriors fan? Anybody still think the Warriors are going to pull it out? Don't tell me I'm going to have to call Say It Up. It just hit me cool. Hopefully he knows how to. Hopefully he's on his laptop, not somewhere on his phone. Let me give him 5 minutes and I'll call him. What's taking him? See what the holdup is, y'all. What was my question? Any Warriors fans in here? 7 games, home. Manny Test. But who is who's winning the series though now? All right, here he is. All right, Sid. I'm gonna bring you in here right now. Let me add you. Make sure your audio and all that stuff's working.
Good. You can hear me?
Sid, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Let me make sure you can hear me. Sid, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Let me make sure you can hear me. All right. We got Sid on, you guys. Cedric Ceballos. Cedric, you can introduce yourself to the UrbanAZ stream. Right. We got Sid on, you guys.
What's happening, UrbanAZ stream? Cedric Ceballos here. Big mouth of the South. Let me see. 11 years NBA. 32 years in the NBA business. DJ, host. I don't know, on and on.
Yeah, did y'all know Sid was a DJ? Anybody in here know Sid was a DJ? I think a lot of athletes try to DJ and rap, but yeah. Sid can actually DJ. But I'm gonna have to battle Sid one day. Sid, you ain't never heard me DJ, huh?
Never. This is the first time hearing it.
I kind of keep it on the down low, but it's a hobby. It's definitely a hobby.
When did you start DJing?
Man, I've been DJing probably in back when Super Bowl was here in 96, I think it was 95. I've been DJing since then. I used to, you remember, Albert Lanesses. You remember the club Zazoos?
Yeah.
I used to mess around with him up there a lot.
All right.
So, here's a question. Lindsay asked, what was your DJ name, Cedric?
It was Mixmaster Ice, DJ Spade. It was all kind of stuff when I was little. I started DJing when I was like 12 years old, so it was all kind of stuff. And but now it's just my name, Cedric Ceballos, DJ Cedric Ceballos.
Yo, got that? We just gonna get straight to some questions. Nacho Vidal asks, hope you're doing better after battling COVID. Man, how was that? Like, I thought I had it, but I didn't. I seen some of the stuff you posted. I'm like, man.
Yeah. Like, it was deep, man. Like for 2 years when it first happened, obviously, at the time I was, vice president with the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas, so away from the fam. And I had I was super clean. You know what I mean? Like sanitizers everywhere, wore masks, double masks sometimes. Anytime that I went outside and came back in, I took all my gear off, jumped right in the shower, threw that gear right in the laundry room. Man, I was just over clean, man. And then I came back to Phoenix to the house, and a family member here had it, and they had gotten cleared and tested negative. And then 2 days after, I hung out with them, and I got it then. So the biggest thing about it is, and I told everybody in some of the posts that I was saying, like, yo, you have to be real persistent if you're sick at that time. I mean, it's not as crazy as it was before, but you had to be real persistent on letting them admit you. Because I tried 3 times, man. My 3rd time was my charm. They was like, all right. I mean, I put my Denzel on. I put my Idris Elba on. I went in there acting like I'm dang near dying for them to admit me. And the league's got unbelievable insurance, and the Mavericks got unbelievable insurance, and it didn't really matter. It was so many cases that they just thought that, if you wasn't in dire strait, go home and try to ballot yourself. And I haven't had a lot of family members and friends to try to go home and do that, and they didn't make it out. So that was my biggest thing, to let everybody know that you really gotta, sometimes put on an act if you do have it and you have bad symptoms. My symptoms were, I didn't have a fever. I wasn't in the sweats. My lungs, it was just hard for me to breathe.
Wow.
So my second day they diagnosed me with pneumonia. My third day I was COVID negative, but the pneumonia was taking over my body, and I was on my belly, not my back, for about 29 days straight with the tubes and all that, and just trying to get all that fluid out. I had about that much left in both of my lungs, so I was close, man. I had signed off all the paperwork, man. I was,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I was preparing for that moment, and I was ready for it, and I think the biggest thing after I got out, and thank you for anybody who's listening that said a little prayer for me, because I needed each and every one of them. But the biggest thing when I got out was the psychological part of it, because I went in with 3 other friends. I was the only one that made it out. Not that we had contact, but we was all in different states and cities. But the biggest thing was the mental part of it. Like I did, obviously I had 20,000 text messages. I had 10,000 voicemails, and my Twitter, my Instagram, everything was blowing up. And my mental part of it was real difficult. Like I didn't want to go I couldn't say this story 20,000 times and over again. So I just, I left a message on my voicemail saying that, hey, let me mentally get right before I can answer any questions or get back to what y'all was talking about, because I had already prepared myself to leave this earth.
right. Wow. So you was basically thinking you're like near death, like basically you thinking you a goner.
Oh yeah, and the doctors too. They was like, yeah, you need to, get your affairs in order, because this is, it doesn't look like this is going to turn around. And once that little pocket fills up, there's nothing that nothing we will be able to do. And so you had to come into terms with that. It's not an easy thing, as much as you see in the movies, and as
Right.
much as I'm telling y'all right now, it ain't nowhere near close to that when you really have that conversation with your doctors.
That's got to be scary, man. I remember I seen you had posted it, but somebody had texted me, and I didn't really believe too much of it. But then I seen you had posted something. Then I seen they said something on ESPN. I think it was. I know the local sports networks definitely were talking about it,
Yeah,
and I was like, damn, like me and you, we know each other in passing and this and that, but it was like it kind of hit me because it was like somebody that I haven't really known anybody that had it,
yeah,
but then when you had it, it was like real. It made it real for me. Then you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because I
yeah,
wasn't taking it too serious. Because my son, he 25, and he was like, "Oh, y'all just believe anything you hear." It, you know what I mean? So
right,
my wife was taking it serious because she's a nurse, but me personally,
yeah,
I wasn't taking it all that serious until it hit you, and I was like, okay, now I really, I stayed in. I didn't do nothing, man. Like,
yeah,
I was like, I ain't trying to feel that feeling because I hear people say how they felt and this and that. But when I seen you laid up, I'm like, ah, shit, okay, this shit's
yeah,
like
man.
really real. Like,
It was
so,
tough. Being me, like the Mavericks, we shut the office down. I mean, we really like, even I was broadcasting at that time too. So even though we was having games when the team was in the bubble, I still had to go out and go to the studio. But they had everything sectioned off and help protocol and stuff. But it's still, like I said, it's crazy that that outside world didn't get me just being in my own home. This is where the transfer came. And then also after it was, I got out, I couldn't even walk. I had to relearn to walk, because I've been,
damn,
like I said, I've been on my belly the whole time, and I wasn't allowed to use my muscles. So I lost 50 pounds worth of muscle. I couldn't even walk. I, had the wheelchair my first couple of days. Then I was on a walker, needed some assistance. And then, I got to a point where I had to do my rehabilitation where I started walking. It just wasn't until last week till I started sprinting. Um,
wow.
so, I'm still work in progress. And this ended, I got out in the 31st of September. I got out the 31st of September. So,
So,
uh,
how long were you actually in the hospital?
yeah, about 30 days.
30. Hold on, I gotta grab. I'm gonna see if Nurse Viv is around because I know let me see if my wife. Viv, hey, can you come here? You don't have to get on camera, but I want you to kind of, you being a nurse. No, you're not gonna be on camera, but she's gonna be in a minute. So the Mavericks, were you working for the Mavericks at the time? Like, what were you doing with the Mavericks? Like,
Yeah, I was in the front office as vice president, in charge of corporate relations. So, and then I also was doing broadcasting. So I was there for 5 years. And
damn, I bet a lot of people didn't know that. I knew that after I read your bio and stuff for
yeah,
this, but damn. So
yeah,
how long did you work for the Mavericks? Because you played
five
for the
years.
Mavericks also, right?
Yeah. I had a spell with the Mavericks 3 years, and then so after I finished in '01, Jerry Colangelo had me come work for the Suns, and I did that for 10 years. But during that 10-year period, a lot of people was asking about me, like, could you come do this? We want you to do NBA TV. We wanted you to do this, that, and the other. And I couldn't do it because of my obligation with the Suns. So I had to quit with the Suns after 10 years because I knew that window was closing for me to
Right.
get, to a big network or try to get in there. And obviously, that's past. But I had to leave the Suns, and then I got on with the Mavericks.
So he was saying he had COVID. He was in the hospital for 30 days.
Yeah.
So what does that like? You said you couldn't walk anymore.
Hey there.
He said,
What I'm just trying to figure out, like, what does it actually affect? Having COVID, what does organs or whatever, what does it actually affect? Where
Well, mine was different from everybody else's. I don't know what they went through, but mine, like I said, my lungs filled up and I had pneumonia. So I had, like I said, that little softball left of air breathing. So I'm short breath. They're pumping air in me. I didn't have to be on a ventilator for some reason. I don't know why. But like I said, the biggest thing was I had to be on my stomach because of the way you breathe. I would if I was on my back a lot, that just makes my lungs fill up more, and I might have choked myself, or that little softball of air would have went down. So what I did was, when I lost all my, because I was in, I'm an athlete like you. Like, I'm used to running around, getting up, standing, bending. At the time I was balling, still playing ball. So I just shut down to a point where, you're not using none of those things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting out of bed to use the bathroom. I'm not getting out of bed walking around. I'm just on my back for like 25, 26 days. I mean, excuse me, on my belly. And that's where the deterioration of the muscles just depleted, So if you're not using your muscles, that's why you see a lot of elderly people breaking their hips and that and other, because they're not using their muscles like they should be on a day-to-day basis. And I know you're laughing at the old guys in the club, in the health clubs, but that's where they need to be, working on the little dumbbells, getting their muscle right, because that the muscle will go away, it'll go away, especially if you're not, if you're just eating regular, you're thinking like, I'm eating protein that's gonna keep my muscle around. No, you have to actively, use those muscles to keep them strong. So those 25 plus days I was on my stomach, all that stuff deteriorated. And so I had to relearn to walk. I'd had enough strength. I didn't have enough strength to stand on my own, walk on my own, take steps. I was, dragging my feet. It was bad, man. It was bad.
that's actually, yeah.
Student
What you're referring to, guys, what he was referring to is called proning. And it was something that was done a long time ago, but they brought it back because they knew it was done actually around about the time when people started using iron lungs, because proning keeps the fluid, like said, keeps the fluid from just pooling up in the bottom part of the lungs, or any part of the lungs, really. And then again, what he was saying about, using your muscles, that's true too. If you don't use your muscles, they will atrophy. And when they atrophy, that means they start to shorten. When they start to shorten, you can't look at how you are now. I mean, if I were to not use my muscles and I was just wheelchair bound, I'd be probably like this, and I wouldn't be able to walk, because you start to lose, your muscle will lose that memory after a while. Yeah. So for the body's an amazing thing. For him to be in the hospital and actually be in that position for that long and not have to be on a respirator is amazing. Yeah. Did they end up putting you on like a BiPAP or a CPAP during that time to help you breathe? Or
yeah, I got that after I got out, but during there they was pumping oxygen in me through my nose. And because I wasn't on a ventilator because of the way I had to lay on my stomach. And it would have been hard for that ventilator and me to, just smash my face the whole time and have it on.
There was actually people that were on ventilators that still were being prone, and it was just so awkward. And it would take like 10 people to get people to, you know, switch, because it's like in every, I don't know, we have to move people that obviously don't have COVID. We move them every between 2 to 4 hours. So for you guys, it might have been more, it could have been less. I'm not sure.
And that, as you mentioned that, Viv, that's probably what, you know, made my muscles deteriorate so fast or shorten, like you're saying, because one, I was in a little bitty hospital bed. I'm 6'7", you know, and you know, feet hanging all off. And then secondly, I wasn't getting that treatment of movement. Like a therapist wasn't coming in, moving my legs, moving my arms, keeping those muscles intact. They were just so concerned on saving me that that wasn't, you know, part of their regimen.
I gotta ask you though, Sid, you didn't get some kind of special treatment in there. They didn't bring you a bigger bed or nothing, special treatment from the nurses, anything?
That was the biggest. They switched me a couple of times, but that was the biggest bed they had, man. It you know, and you know, nothing we could do.
Right. See, they have beds for big, like big this way.
Yeah.
Obese, but like 600 pound, like that type of bed, but not so much long, because those type of people are not frequenters in the hospitals and care centers. So it's just amazing what the body can do. I'm so happy that you made it out. Like, it's just people still to this day fail to realize that, oh yeah, you know, now especially, you know, it's moving towards being endemic. It's not endemic yet, but all it takes is for your body to react the way it will react, and you could be, it could look at you. No one would think a top athlete all your life that would happen to you.
Yeah. And we're talking within 4 days. Like I said, I played ball. I don't know if it was a Friday, but I played ball Thursday, and I'm in the hospital on my stomach Sunday. So it's not like it's a long progressive thing or something that I wasn't doing to before to make this thing go fast, so bad, so fast. It just, you know, hit people differently. Like I said, I had 3 other people go in exactly same day that I went in. You know, I saw that they post, I'm in the hospital. I saw that too. I reached out to them, and you know, those 3 didn't make it. I was the one who made it out.
Yeah. Hey, so when you first went in, did you think it was bad when you first went in? Did you know it was kind of bad, or did it kind of get worse as it went along?
No, I had no clue on how powerful it is, how fast it, you know, takes over your body. I had no idea. I mean, we obviously looking at the news, but you know, Viv's in the medical profession. I didn't know. I didn't know how fast it would take over or if it was bad. I just know when he said the 3rd day I was in, you're COVID free, I was like, all right, now I'm about to get out of here. And then nope, boom, you know, you got something else you got to worry about. This pneumonia is kicking your butt.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people at the time with that particular strain of, because I'm thinking you were last year, right? So that was definitely Omicron. That strain is what gave the original, the Delta and the Omicron is what gave a lot of people the COVID pneumonia. And that is what brought a lot of people down, because that type of pneumonia, it's not the kind, it's like in the bottom of your lungs, and that's anything that's deeper is harder to treat. Yeah. So that is, like I said, and especially like now I actually work in a residential center where there's a lot of old people. I mean, it devastated my facility completely. And that was what took the majority of the people out, was the COVID pneumonia. Yeah. It's just difficult to treat, very, very difficult to treat. Now it's better because we know so much more. We're 2.5 years in, but back then it was still so new. Right. And people just didn't know they didn't know. They just did not know. It was just a trial. It was just a trial by error type of thing. Mm-hmm. So.
And I made it got in at the early stages. Like, again, that was my 3rd time trying to get admitted. And, the fact that I didn't go home, I had a partner that tried to treat it himself at home by himself. No, cannot do it by yourself. You may can do it at home, but by yourself, he didn't make it out either. So it, all these factors. And like I said, I had double full coverage insurance through the NBA, double full insurance through the Mavericks. I mean, I was, even a lot of, big wigs reached out to me. Mark Cuban, Buffett, all these guys was like, yo, let's get some special doctors. And I talked to my doctors, and they was like, It's not up to what I'm doing to you or what I'm not doing to you or medicating you. It's up to you. You want to be here or you don't want to be here. You gonna fight or you don't want to fight. It's you cooperate with us, and stay on your because you want to roll over. You know what I'm saying? After a while, you like, I'm tired of I'm not used to sleeping on my stomach, so I'm like, I want to roll over. I want to roll over. Like, this is hard to breathe. Like, yeah, it's hard, but you gotta And I saw somebody just posted a comment, laying on your back, the gravity pushes down on your lungs. So they was like, they got to stay on it. And, I lost a lot of stuff from it, but I'm still here to tell this story.
That's right. And that's the most important point. You are still above 6 feet above.
Yes, indeed.
So let me ask you this. You said you was in the hospital for 30 days. At what point did you kind of feel like, okay, I'm getting better. I'm kind of past that whole, feeling like, hey, this is my last days?
Maybe about my 25th, by my 25th day, so when I started,
you was pretty much in there like, wow, like, okay, this, wow.
Well, like my first, after I got cleared, I was COVID free. Then I thought it would be easier, but then he was like, nah, that was nothing. Getting you COVID free was easy. This pneumonia is kicking your butt, man. And then that's so I say about a period of 21 days is where I was like, paranoid. And then we brought the lawyers in about, 17 days into it to sign away all my rights and papers and, the ends, the checks, the investments, all that stuff. So that's when it got like, all right, this is might get serious. It's not looking good. And then on the 21st, 22nd day, when they was like, yo, you want to eat? And I was like, I get to eat? Like, let's let me grab something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So I started eating solid foods and instead of just being pumped IV all the time. And that's when I started seeing a little bit, brighter day. Then they flipped me over, sat me up. And then that's when I tore the room up trying to stand up. Tore it up. Like, because I didn't know. Because like, you be on your stomach for so long, you don't know that you can't walk. So I just got out the bed thinking I can walk. And I just start grabbing all kinds of stuff, trying to hold on, and just tore the room up.
You probably thought you were just gonna stand up and just start walking around and doing your thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to stand up. They was like, you want to stand up? I was like, yeah, let me stand up. They didn't know that I, had the muscles had done what they were doing. So they just allowed me to stand up freely. But when I tried to stand up, my upper body was good, but then my legs just went like Michael Jackson in The Wiz, man. I didn't have no. And I started tearing stuff up, man, knocking stuff all over. So.
Yeah,
it took about 6 people. It took about 6 people to get me back up. So,
I bet. Yeah. So did you do a lot of once you got home, were you assigned PT at home, or did you have to go somewhere, or what? They had somebody come here to the house, and which was great, because at the time it was still I got out in September, October, it was still 100 degrees, so me trying to get in a car and still harder breathing, having to tote the air around, I had a unit that stayed in my office, but the piping or the line could go all throughout the house, all to the guest house. So I was good on that part, but it was good that they got somebody to come to the house. Yeah, that's definitely a benefit, because having to just get somewhere, that's like half the battle.
Yeah, and then it's the fear factor too. Also the mental part of it. Like, I went to Game 7 when the Suns played the Mavericks. That was the first time I've been to anywhere where it's a lot of people. I still was in the house, didn't want to be nowhere. I had the radio show, but that was just me in the booth, so it really wasn't there. But and anytime I go anywhere, I'm still masked up. I'm still, if I could put gloves on, I put gloves on. Still sanitizing, still doing my thing. But it's, hopefully it'll go away. But if not, it's still a good thing that I'm still guarded.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are under this false narrative that it's gone, or that it's reached endemic, which is like the flu status, as in it's just going to be a seasonal type of thing. But we're still not. I mean, like I said, this has only been around 2 years. The flu's been around forever. This has only been around 2.5 years. We're experiencing a bump right now, and pretty much almost all of the country. So it pays to be a little cautious still. I mean, you can't completely just, I mean, there was that big Lovers and Friends concert in Las Vegas, which was fire. But you know what? I was on some message boards in Facebook and some groups, should I say, and every single one of those groups, they had a thread about, did anybody get COVID?
Yeah.
At least 24 people from thought that they was just going to be raw-faced and be in a situation where there are that many people, and they still got it. So
Did they keep coming up with another strand and another dose and another boost? And so
exactly.
Just stay cautious. You can always just protect yourself.
So are you going to probably wear a mask regardless for the rest of your life, maybe, especially in big crowds?
I don't know if like I said, it's the mental part of it that allows, I put it on even when I go get some gas or go in the grocery store or a restaurant. And, and I know people looking around, looking at me like, hey, it's over with. Why are you putting this mask on? It is what it is. When you went through what I went through, man, it's just easy to go ahead and protect yourself. It's just like, people that have other trauma, the psychological part of it is real hard.
Of course. I mean, that's a big part of it too, is the recovery, not only just the physical man, but the psychological man. How are you with that, by the way, if that's not too personal? Are you? Yeah,
like I said, like even now, like we're going real deep that in other interviews, I don't really go this deep, but it's just, I'm getting more comfortable with it, talking about it. I know it's going to raise awareness to other people that are going like, man, what is it? And, like even D, you was like, I don't know, like I don't know anybody that had it, but what do you go through? What did it affect? And the knowing that it's different for everybody, it could change. It still could be around. There's still deaths. The death count is still up. So please don't think that this thing is over with and that you're immune to it. Whether you're, like I said, whether you got the vaccination or not, it's still taking people out, both vaccinated and non-vaccinated and triple boosted. And like I said, I was away from people and sanitizing and taking off my clothes and washing it before I even, came in, all that stuff. So it's a tough situation. We, hopefully we will get through it, and I know we will get through it, but just still be cautious.
That's all facts. That's all big facts right there. It hits different for everybody. And we all have to always remember, just be vigilant. I mean, everybody's vigilant in their own ways, but we have to all just don't think it's over, because it's not.
No.
We were talking just wearing the mask, because ever since COVID kind of hit, I haven't been sick, like cold, nothing. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to let people persuade me not to wear a mask. You're going to look at me crazy. So what? I feel better. I haven't been sick in 3 years. You know what I mean? Nothing. So it's like, if I'm going in a crowded space or whatever, I'm pretty much.
Even on the plane, like when I still travel and I go on a plane and they looking at me like, they dropped that. I'm like, okay, let them drop that. They didn't say I could not wear the mask. So I'm just still masking up.
Right. They didn't say you couldn't. So, but also, the way I look at it is that you don't know what other people are. They could be cancer patients. They could be chemo patients. They could be, hemophiliacs, or people that have a disease where they are immune compromised. That's why they're wearing a mask. So I don't understand why people are so judgmental anyway. You just don't know unless somebody, or you have it on your forehead, says, I'm a cancer patient or what. You don't know what people are going through. So
we're behind, always behind, not only in technology, but a bunch of other stuff too, what China is. And you go to China and people are walking around just hoo-hum before the pandemic, before Corona. They always had masks on. Like you go take a trip to China and you see all the Asian people wearing masks on the airplane. You're like, should I be putting on a mask? Like they already know that, there's a possibility and this is a way for protection. So
yeah, they've been doing that. That is exactly true. That is exactly true. So also I wanted to mention too, I know that you said that about maybe 2 weeks in, that's when you started calling the attorneys and all that kind of stuff. That is a really important point, you guys. Even when you're not sick, it's important to have what is called a POA, which is the person of, I think of, I forget what the A stands for, but this is basic. It's just like a power of attorney. That's what it is, power of attorney over your health matters.
Right.
Because you just never know. I mean, you could walk out the door and get into an accident and you'll be in the hospital, you're incapacitated. You need somebody that's going to be able to make somebody that you trust, obviously, to make medical decisions for you in the case that you're incapacitated. And it's not something that's expensive. It's something that you can just find something online, really, basically, and have it notarized. And then that way you have something in place, especially if you got kids, a significant other, anything like that. And then, of course, there's other stuff like living trust and all that stuff. That's a whole nother thing that you can get into, but definitely a POA. You just never know. SED is a good example. You live in life. Next thing you know, you in the hospital for almost a month.
Yes,
I mean, what the heck, So POA. Remember that, guys. Oops, sorry.
So before we get into the basketball stuff, anybody else got any COVID questions or any like personal stuff? Not personal, but off of basketball, because I know y'all want to get into the basketball stuff. We're gonna save that for last. Any COVID questions? Basically, anyone? Somebody said their father passed away from COVID.
Oh no, World Rewind says COVID took my father last night. He was a dialysis patient. Oh, he will be greatly missed. Oh yeah, may he rest in peace, World Rewind. I'm so sorry.
So Ced, what are you doing now? Like, what is Ced Ceballos doing?
I just finished a stint with my second stint with a radio station out here, Mega Old School. That was the first time I had the morning show by myself, Mike 1. I had it Mike 2 for 7 years before, and also had a Quiet Storm show what I was hosting. But just finished that, and just in the process of starting my own and just banging it out. On the 11th of June, I opened up my first dispensary in Oklahoma, Noble, Oklahoma. So that's exciting and adventurous, because this is a market that I have no clue about it, but it is a great business decision. It's just growing. They're close to going recreational. I would try it in Arizona and California, and also, well, it's not recreational in Texas, but it is in California and Arizona, where I have homes. But just the line is just long. The line is long, and especially in California, the line is tremendously long, waiting to get those permits and get those, all the paperwork done to get your own dispensary. And I just came across a gym, me and another partner of mine, powered up with Superbad. Superbad is all over. Their strands have been, being sold even before everything started going recreational. And we have the only bar and nightclub that you can smoke cigarettes in Oklahoma. It was grandfathered into us, and obviously y'all probably haven't been in a club that you smoke cigarettes in. You're like, oh, that's bad, but it's good if you can smoke weed in there. So as soon as they go recreational, we might be the only club that's not, not smoke free, and you can be in there smoking your cannabis inside the club.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm surprised that it's even still around, because people have been just so staunch with the no smoking policy. Yeah. It's one of the only ones in Oklahoma that still you can smoke inside the bar. That's amazing. Great.
Now, off topic, there's a subscriber in here. He goes by the name of Golf King. He's a golfer, I guess, right? Golf King. But anyway, so we had a debate on, was golf a real sport? And when we say real, we know it's a sport. But you play golf, right, Cedric? And you got a golf tournament coming.
Yeah.
Is golf hard to play physically?
Yes.
Physically, not mentally or technically, but physically, Cedric. Because my thing was.
Okay, let me ask you this.
They kind of compared it to you have to be an athlete.
Yes.
To play golf. But hold on, Ced. I got to get into this with you.
Okay, let me give you this point right here, Derek. You played golf before, 18 holes.
Well, I tried to, but yeah.
Okay, and you used the golf cart?
Yeah.
Okay. After it was over with, were you sore?
No, because I used the golf cart the whole time. I barely really
So-
we remember when we went, we kind of just went. It
Yeah,
was like
it was like a
it was
Cardinals,
a Cardinals thing, and I
Cardinals
Oh, okay,
wasn't really
so-
playing the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was a
wasn't
charity
like-
thing.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
can't
so-
say I really played golf, put it that way.
So yeah, it's different. Like the pros, you know, they're not allowed to use carts. You know, so you got to imagine, and I'm gonna tell you another story about this after I finish. But you can imagine walking 18 holes. You know, just matter of fact, go outside right now. I don't know what state you guys are in, Cali or Arizona, but the weather is what it is in Arizona, 100 degrees. Go walk for 2 and 3 hours. You're gonna walk in the house exhausted. So just imagine you walking for 2 or 3 hours and still swinging a couple of times as hard as you can. Sometimes soft, sometimes, you know, whatever.
I was gonna say,
And
what
then
about the
finish it.
little putt, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you putt soft, but then
Oh.
other times you're trying to smack the ball as hard as you can. So you tired after just walking 2-3 hours, especially in this heat in Arizona. So when you're walking around, that takes some athletic. Now sprinting, no, you don't have to sprint.
Say, let me ask you this though. When in basketball season, you have played golf before, right?
Yes.
You guys go and play golf, but they won't. Okay, you're a basketball player, but let's just say me being a football player, we can't go and play basketball during the season. There's a reason for that. We can go play golf because we're probably not going to get hurt.
Mhm.
So the way that you cannot tell me, said you have to put as much energy into golf as trying to play basketball.
No,
I
it's
just don't see it. I see Trump play golf.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But it's still a physical sport. Now, with your sport in football, and like you guys play what 10 seconds, but the 10 seconds is like so hard, and you might get hit. You got to sprint. You got to cut. You got to turn. You got to do all that. Now with us in basketball, all we do is this all day. We just run up and run up and run up. Free throw. Run up, run up, run up. Timeout. Run up and run up and run up. And then see, it's a little difference. So if you guys came and played our sport, obviously it'll take you a while to get adjusted. Just like
Right.
we came and played your sport, we'd be like, what? How can I stand around for 45 seconds and then sprint my fastest and cut and get smashed in the head for 10 seconds? Like we won't be able to get up. We be like, man, let me sit down here for a little while. So same thing with golf. It's a different type of muscles that you use. Obviously, they're not running or sprinting. But if you do go outside right now, even when you were in your prime, and just walk for 3 hours in 110 degree weather or whatever, good weather, bad weather, doesn't matter. You're tired.
Well, I'm not. My heart rate's not getting high. So, do you see what I'm saying? If I had to walk
Tomorrow, go walk for 2
I could
hours.
walk. Let me just say this: if I had to walk 6 miles, and I'm saying walk,
Mhm.
I could probably walk 6 miles.
Okay.
But if I had to run up and down a basketball court for how many minutes, or do a football drive, a 10-play drive,
Right.
I couldn't do it. I have to get in shape to do that.
Right.
I could walk right now for six hours or whatever if I had to. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But then after that
was
6
kind of my
hours,
point.
would you be
Go
tired?
ahead, say it.
Would you be tired after that six?
Yeah, my legs would be sore the next day.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So you would have to get in shape to do that
I
every
said
day.
I'll also be tired after sex, but that don't mean, you see what I'm saying? I got to get
That's
in
why
shape.
you keep
for sex.
doing it to get better and better.
Said you got to get my point. You cannot compare the input of basketball or football to golf. You have what you have
Right.
to input.
I'm not saying that.
But that's what this guy was trying to say, though.
No, it is
I'm not saying golf is easy, but he was basically saying you got to be in this type of physical shape and this and that. I'm like, dude, it's no way. You can't
Golf King.
Because football players play golf during football season.
Right.
They allow us to do that for a reason. They won't allow us to go play basketball and all that, is my point. It's a reason for that.
Because you might get hurt.
Exactly. You can't get hurt in golf unless you.
Oh no. Yeah, you can get hurt on golf.
I mean, you hurt your back.
Golf King. Let me talk to
You're
Golf
a golf
King.
player. That's why you defending that.
No. Let me talk to Golf King. Golf King. It is nowhere near playing football. It is nowhere near playing basketball. Golf King. So don't think that those are close to each other.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Please don't.
If Tiger Woods at the top of his game could not run with Derek on a football field, nor could he run up and down a basketball court with me. He could not do it. And he's probably the most in shape golfer we have ever seen. But at the same time, it is a sport. It is a sport. It's just not as powerful at the sprints. It's not as powerful as the hits. It's not as powerful as the up and down as basketball and football. But it is a sport.
All right, you understand that, Golf King? You guys happen to be a sport, but pretty much a relaxation type of sport.
Yes.
You know, kind of like getting on the boat and going fishing. That's a sport too, but you know what I mean? That's what I compare that to, is fishing.
And shout out to Golf King for that super chat, man. He says, "See, told you, Derek. Golf is a sport. LOL. Thank you, Cedric Ceballos."
I'll give you it's a sport, but I mean, there's a lot of sports. Isn't chess and other things sports? Aren't they like Olympic sports?
Those are games.
Something. There's some crazy stuff is like.
And we shouldn't be listening to Golf King anyway if he a Boston Red Sox fan anyway.
Hey, that's true.
You know
And then also, let's see, we've got here. Thank you to Philly Irish Drew Evo. That's a mouthful. Woods has ongoing back and knee issues playing golf. Well, yeah, that's true. But he also just came out.
And I got back issues having sex. So what's the difference? You know what I mean? It ain't. But you see what I'm saying? You can't just say because somebody has back issues playing golf that's a sport because you have back issues.
No, but are you competing?
But I'm just saying the reason that this person. No, I'm just saying the reason that this person was saying because he has back issues playing golf, that automatically makes it a sport or makes it an intense sport. I can fall off a bike and I get hurt. So it's like I ain't going for that.
That's funny.
We gonna move on.
Thank you, Philly Irish, for that super chat. We appreciate it.
We're gonna because I'm trying to keep this to like 15 more minutes because we could be on here all day. But we're gonna move on to some basketball stuff. So you got drafted by the Suns, right? 1990, yes. I think it was it 90?
Yeah.
Second round. Did you? Your first year, did you start or were you a sixth man or something?
Man, first things first, I barely got drafted. The last four people under me were like, they let the time elapse and so I got lucky to be in. And when I first got in the league, I just was like, okay, let me get some practice jerseys, some practice gear.
All right, hold on, Sid, I got to stop. Let me back up. Before the draft, what were you predicted and what were you thinking? First round? I'm sure.
I was predicted to go lottery. I went to a small school. I went to a small school. I had some great numbers. I was second in the nation in rebounding. I was, top 10 in scoring. I had great numbers, but small school, you never know. And then it's a hit and miss. A guy named Marty Blake, who was in charge of all the draftees, he called me the day before I was supposed to fly out, the whole fam, to New York. And he says, I don't think you should come. And I'm like, okay, why not? He said, I don't know. I can't really assure you. Clifford Robertson, he stayed in the draft room forever. A lot of other players stay in the draft room forever. He didn't want that on me. So he said, be better as just you staying at home. So at the time I lived in Houston. So I stayed at home. I just flew moms and everybody to Houston, my brother and everybody. And I'm watching the draft. And Jerry West, he came and saw me play a lot, and he said to me face to face, if you are still there and you won't be there, we are picking you with the last pick in the first round, which is the 26th pick at the time. So I'm like, okay, everybody's going before me. I know I busted their ass, but they still going before me. And I'm like, all right, but I know Jerry. I got Jerry in the back of my mind. Jerry West going to take me, and I'm going to go home to the Lakers. No problem. And then, the 26th pick, the Los Angeles Lakers select Eldon Campbell. And Eldon is my guy. We grew up together in L.A., but I was just like crushed. So I just went outside and cried. And this is the strength of a black woman, man. My mom came outside. It was like, let's go. This is what you wanted. We're going to deal with this. Let's go. It doesn't matter when you get picked. We going to get it. As long as you get picked and you get an opportunity, then you're all good. You know what I'm saying? So I came back in. I got picked during a commercial break. They chopped my name all up. Like, oh, yeah, while we were away, the Phoenix Suns select Cedric Ceballos. And, the whole house went crazy, whatever, saw my little name on the ticker. And then, and that's when the mission started right there. After the draft was over, I went out to the hills and called BJ up, and it's like, let's train and let's start training, because they wanted me to be in Phoenix the next day. So I had to fly out the next morning. So I trained that day. I didn't know what to expect. It just was the press conference and all that. I thought they was going to have me try out then, and I didn't know nothing about the NBA, how they, after you get drafted or what you have to do, because I didn't know anybody who ever been in the NBA. So, so they brought us out here to Phoenix, and I was drafted first. Our first pick was Jason Williams from St. John's. Our second pick was Nigel Knight from Dayton, and I was their third pick. And they introduced us and said, here's our pick. Everybody claps in front of all the cameras. And Jason Williams gets up there and goes, is this thing on? Yeah. It's hot out here, Jerry Colangelo. I think you're going to have to trade me. It's too hot. I ain't playing here. And I'm sitting there like, me and Nigel looked at each other, was like, what? Like, because we thought that was like, you turning down this money, you don't want to play. Like, I was thinking, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue what to think that he was saying that, but I knew that, okay, he's a forward. I'm a forward. You don't want to play here? Well, go on and get out the way and let me play here then. And I just, in my mind, Summer League, I killed in Summer League, got MVP of the Summer League, and they just kept me. And then even when the season was coming around, I was still thinking that, man, I'm just gonna collect some more practice jerseys, and I'm gonna be back in South Central LA, just woo woo. And I met everybody that I was an idol of. I walked right up to him, Jordan, Larry Bird, Barkley, everybody. I just walked right up to him during the game. I didn't care if the game was going on or not. How you doing? My name is Cedric Ceballos. Nice to meet you. I get a picture with you afterwards. And I had the same, in awe when I first saw Jordan. I saw him in layup line first, and I was just like, dang, that's him. Like, that's the dude. That's that dude. And I'm looking at like he do, just like Allen Iverson said, that he really wearing Jordans. Like, he wearing the Jordans. So it was a trip. But my first year was just, I'm just happy go lucky to be there. That's the wonderful thing about difference between NFL and NBA. I signed a 3-year deal for what did I get? $500,000, but it was guaranteed.
Right, it's guaranteed. Yeah.
So if I got cut or not, I still was going to leave.
You got your money. Yep.
I still was going to leave with $500,000.
Right.
So that's the great thing about it. And so I just tried to meet as many people as possible, because obviously money is not going to buy you a chance to shake hands with Jordan, or money just doesn't do that. Even though I love our sport, that we're the only sport that you can do that. Your money can buy you a seat next to Jordan, but that doesn't mean he's going to pay attention to you.
Right.
Kobe, Shaq, whatever. That don't mean they're going to pay attention to you, but you do got a chance for somebody to LeBron to dive in the stands, and he falls in your lap. Money can buy that, but it won't buy that relationship.
Right.
Something, and it too, man. Our fraternity, your fraternity, is just, it goes deep, man. And it's a trip sometimes. I don't know if you get this, D, but I do. Like when I'm at All-Star Weekend, or when I'm at the finals or whatever, and the legends come up to you, the Magics, the Kareems, the Bill Russells, the Jordans, and they like, say what up, and they dap you up, and you just like, damn, this dude remember me? Like I, what I'm saying? Like, it's just a fraternity that you guys, and that it's so tight that you can always, shake hands with Emmitt Smith.
That's how I felt with Emmitt Smith.
Jerry Rice. Yeah, I said Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice and all the greats, man, and the Tom Brady's, and you just tell them those 3 letters. Oh yeah, oh man, what's up, dog? Yeah, what you need? And it's just, that's the biggest thing. If I didn't take away a dime from the NBA, that would be the biggest thing. The fact that fraternity is so tight knit, and that you can if you get to the right connect person, you could get in contact with any, from the best player in the world to the worst player in the world. You can, you just connect it.
Right. So, okay, you came here in 90. I think I got here in 92. I remember. Yeah, it was 92. 92, you guys went to the play. That was Barkley was here in 92 or 93?
92, 93 season. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's when I was a rookie with the Cardinals. And I remember, because we was always like average, you know what I mean? We was looked at in the state as, just, we wasn't looked favorably on, put it that way. You guys were the hot ticket, the Suns. Yeah. And I remember going to, you remember that club, Etzel's Attic?
Oh, yeah.
And I think you had a drop top. What was it? What did you have?
Mustang. Okay. Mustang 5.0.
Drop top. And I just remember, man, like y'all was the shit. We was damn near fans of you guys. We in the NFL, but we was damn near like looking up to y'all, like wanting to be around y'all. I just remember that. Just going to the clubs, y'all would get all the hype, all the women chasing y'all, everything, and we was kind of like just kind of in the background trying to, let me see if I can holler at Ced or whoever. I was like superstars, man. I was like,
hey,
we that shit, man.
That was the case until we went to What's Your Beef. When we went to What's Your Beef, it was like, you play what? Basketball? Get out of here. This is football town. This is football. What's Your Beef was like the ultimate place for football players. Like y'all had it on lock. But I think the biggest thing was our two owners, the difference, the Bidwells and Colangelo.
Yeah.
Colangelo just was so community driven, and he was there for a long time. And you guys, I think it was like, if you 92 of mine to be, I think you guys got in Arizona maybe in the late 80s.
Yeah,
so
probably.
The Cardinals had just got there. That had never been the Diamondbacks wasn't here. The Coyotes weren't here. Matter of fact, I think it was the Suns and the Roadrunners, and Jerry Colangelo owned both of them, the minor league hockey team that played at the Coliseum. But Jerry was just so community. And I said before, like, we're the only sport that you can buy a ticket and sit next to Jordan. You can't do that with Tom Brady. You can't buy a ticket and sit next to Tom Brady while he's doing work, because you'll get hurt. Obviously, you don't have pads on, and the game is so physical and it's so fast, you won't be able to do that. And then, even if you did do that, the game could be played on one end of the whole game could be played on one end of the field, and you'd be like, man, I bought these great tickets in the end zone, and they haven't even been in the end zone the whole game. I'm looking like, well, what they doing way down there? So it's like that was the big thing. And plus, you guys had helmets on, and we didn't. You could see our person. You knew when we was mad. You knew when we smiled and we were happy. You couldn't really tell with you guys wearing helmets, because and Phoenix was just such a town that was looking for something to grab hold to. But then when the Cardinals started really getting popular, and y'all changed the jerseys, and then the popularity came around, and the Coyotes, the Diamondbacks, and the city started growing, that's when you saw the popularity for all sports really get in. I don't think the hockey players have really gotten their just due here yet, but hopefully one day it'll come.
So that it was the 92-93 season y'all went to the finals against the Bulls, right?
Yes.
So let me back up. You wear 23. Is that because of Jordan?
No, I wore number 31. I wore 44 in high school, George Gerving. My brother went to college. He got number 31, so I switched to 31 when I went to college. I tried to get 31 when I came to the Suns, but Kurt Rambis had 31, Rambo. Couldn't get that. And then they gave me a number 8 jersey in Summer League. And I hadn't met Eddie Johnson yet, and Eddie Johnson had number 8, so I couldn't have number 8. So they asked me what jersey number do I want, and at the time I was holding my rookie card, and I was the 23rd rookie card that they printed out. It said number 23 on the back for the 23rd of this edition of rookies, and I said 23, and they gave me number 23.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Which wasn't a bad number, but
right. So how was it playing with Charles Barkley? How was he? He seemed like a character.
Yeah, man, character. First time I met Charles, we was just I didn't get to play against Charles the first 2 years because Cotton didn't want to play young guys. He was an old school head. Cotton Fitzsimmons, rest in peace. So I didn't get to play when we played big time teams. I didn't get to play against Charles when we played Philly. And they were really good friends too. And I don't know why he wouldn't put me in the game, but who knows? But so we were building at the time the American West Arena, and it wasn't finished yet. And then we made that trade. Obviously, everybody saw Barkley say he wanted to get traded. They followed him at the airport when he got traded, and he got here in the Valley and all that stuff. And he comes in. I hear him. I just finished working out, and I hear him yelling, "All right, I'll be back." Woo, woo. And I'm in the bathroom. I'm in one stall, and he goes into the other stall, and all of a sudden he starts just cursing, just film farm fluent, and start banging on the wall. So I was like, "Oh my God, this dude is a trip!" Like, so I'm over there washing my hands, and then he comes to me and says, "Ceballos, right?" And I jump and I go, "Yeah." He like, give me $100. And I'm like, oh snap, I'm about to get robbed by Barkley. So I dig in my pocket. I give him $100. He takes the $100 back to the toilet and throws it in. So I'm like, what is he doing? Like, whatever. Then he goes in, comes out with the $100. So I'm like, I'm really like, I don't want to touch it. So he washes it up and then he hands it back to me. And then he keeps washing his hands and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, what? I got the $100 back because, I'm like I said, I'm broke at the time. You know what I'm saying? Got a little contract. So I put the 100 back in my pocket. And I'm like, what is wrong with dude? Like, it's like, this is what I got to deal with all season long. And he like, let me tell you something, young fella. They may call me crazy and outrageous, but I ain't stupid. I ain't putting my hand in no toilet for 25 cents. But $100.25, I go get that shit. And I was just like, the dude took the 100, threw it in the toilet to go get a quarter. The type of mentality he has, man. But he's a great teammate. He looked out for everybody. When it came to endorsements, when it came to free gifts, when it came to, this is the big thing right here, and D, you can attest to this. He introduces everybody he's with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was around him, Jim Brown, Jordan, at the time, Walter Payton, all these greats, you know what I'm saying? And little old me just like a fly on the wall, like, oh my God, that's such and such. And he go, hey, it's my teammate, Cedric Ceballos. And he introduced me like, woo, woo. And that time he was, him and Madonna going around. He like, hey, man, it's my teammate. I'm like, okay, yeah, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And that's what I thought was really great about the dude. He never let you just be a fly on the wall. He always brought you into the whole celebrity thing. And, I've seen him upset at fans that just get on him. Like he'll do just about anything. I'm talking to big girls kissing him in the mouth in the clubs, and he just, hey man, that could be. I just made her life, man. And she said she kissed me in the mouth, and I'm like, bro, you can't keep doing that. We're trying to win a championship, man. You gonna get something. You're like, no, man. You don't understand. So that whole thing is just the way he lives his life and carefree. He's outspoken, obviously, we know that, but and then you gonna trip off of this, D. Never practice, never worked out.
Wow.
Good as he was, never practiced, never worked. I mean, he would come in and stretch, say some jokes, shoot around, a couple free throws. He headed to the hot tub while we practicing busting our butt.
Damn, who would have thought that?
Game comes around, and he just on point. And I say the same thing. Like I told you, I had a story to tell you about golf, and that's with Michael in the finals. At the time, I had broken my foot, and we go out to Jets and Sticks. And at that time, Jets and Sticks closed at 1.
Yeah.
So we in the parking lot till like 1:30. We go back to the Phoenician to Mike's place. People playing cards. Everybody everywhere. It's like 3 a.m, which is late for Arizona. Y'all remember 3 a.m. is like, yo, you out late, man. So I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm out. And then Charles hit me. When I got home, Charles hit me. He was like, I'm out too. So he left about 3:30, 3:45. He said, Mike's still going hard. Mike got up and walked 18 holes at 7 a.m. Wow. And gave us 47, 50, something like that. and this is a finals game, which is on the West Coast, which is accommodated to the East Coast, which means the game started at 4:00.
Right.
Like, so you mean you party with us? I'm sitting on the bench, half asleep in my suit, and you out there giving people 45.
Right.
Like, just like I understand the comparisons between him, LeBron, and Kobe, but you don't understand the comparison. He was a machine and nicest guy in the world. But would just torch his best friend. Like he wanted to just rip everybody's heads off, and when it comes to assassins, you put those 3 in a row, and they're assassins. LeBron is the guy with the big scope. He's 2 miles away, and he takes you out. You don't even know where it came from. You're like, where'd that bullet come from? I don't know. That was LeBron. Kobe is a guy with the cell phone, calling the police. He pulls a razor blade, and he's slitting your throat. Like, yeah, I'm cutting you right now. You better get here and save him. And make sure you tell him Kobe did it, and Mike is the guy who just, baseball bat to the back of the head, like like in the movie, like boop, like you got to boop boop, and you know, no disrespect. It's just, you know, he just was that good and that great.
So now that you talk about those three, if you had to start a team with one of them in their best years or year or whatever, who would you take?
If I'm an owner, I want to start a franchise, I'm taking LeBron James.
You taking LeBron, huh?
I'm taking LeBron because I'm an owner and I need to make money. And LeBron just got qualified as a billionaire and he's still playing.
Right.
So, but if I'm trying to win games, I'm taking Mike, obviously. I'm taking Mike and Kobe. I don't think those two, you know, I'm taking Mike first, Kobe, and then I'm taking LeBron. No disrespect to either one of those three, but it just depends on what you want to get. And if I need to get my team together and straight and on point, and I got a terrible team, I'm taking Kobe. My team is terrible. I got a bunch of dudes from the direct down the street, and I'm gonna try to win basketball games. I'm taking Kobe because Kobe can win. He don't need, you know, look at the team he took to the championship. No disrespect to Powell and, you know, Lamar and all those guys, and what's the other guy? Meta War Peace, Ron Artest.
Oh yeah.
Powell may get in the Hall of Fame, but the other one's not getting in the Hall of Fame. And he took them to the championship. He took them to the finals twice and won a championship. You know, so that just goes to show you, even with Michael's terrible teams, he needed Scotty, he needed Dennis, he needed Paxson to take that team to win a championship. LeBron needed, you know, this, that, and other. Even though he went to the championship with, well, he still had Shaq and Ilgauskas, and those guys might get in the Hall of Fame too. But the, you know, Kobe had the worst team, and he won a championship with him. So, but you're not gonna see nobody.
Kobe had worse teams than LeBron. LeBron took a lot of bad teams to championships.
No. He had Hall of Famers. What championship did he have?
One year, every few of the top players got hurt, and it was just really LeBron doing it.
Yeah, he didn't win it though. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay, you saying actually won it? Okay.
Actually win it, yeah, because he took the first time he went, like he had Shaq on his team and he had Ilgauskas. I mean, those two will be Hall of Famers, but obviously he didn't win it. But the fact that, you know, Kobe won 2 championships without, you know, with only, you know, Powell get in. Let me rephrase that. Powell get in the Hall of Fame, easy.
You're actually related to Kobe in some way, right? I read somewhere. I think.
Yeah, we have the same grandfather.
Okay.
The same grandfather. You know, it's crazy because when I first got drafted, I had to, you know, you got to hire your family, and my family member was Tony Bryant, which is you know, Kobe's first cousin, and he kept telling me about Kobe when he was little. He's like, "Yo, we got a cousin, you know, that's in Philly. He little now, but man, he gonna be good. He gonna be this, that, and the other." And then when he came, when we drafted him with the Lakers, we made the trade. I came to the press conference and you know, we started breaking it down, this, that, and the other. But Kobe was on a different level, like, you know, maturity, like 17, 18. I was like, damn, this dude is just, the way he's, you know, spoke to people, he just was, you know, respectful. And not to saying that he was supposed to be, you know, but you got to remember 17, 18 years old, just, you know, conducting himself just so great. Right. And then all that responsibility. And then, you know, he would practice with us in the morning, pros. He would leave us, go to UCLA, practice with college players and work out and train, and then go to the high school at Palisades High School where he lived down the street and play with them. And that's, you know, that's a day-to-day thing, whether we had a game or not. So he was determined to be better than Michael Jordan, like from day one.
Right. Yeah, definitely was determined. I just had something on my mind I wanted to, you don't have to answer this though. So LeBron, I was watching SportsCenter today, and what's his name? Big Perk was giving LeBron props about hitting $1 billion and this and that, but he was also saying how LeBron's never been to any scandals, trouble, pretty much, you know. Do you think, and you don't have to answer this, do you think he got some good people around him protecting him from messing up, or he just really just ain't, just, you know, just straight and narrow, like no trouble, nothing?
I think he being crowned the king at such a young age, he got the opportunity to speak to Mike, to speak to Magic, to speak to Dr. J, the greats that have been through it and may have been through some stuff and saying, yo, how do you, let me tell you first things first, you're going to be the king and you may make $1 billion and you may this, that, and the other, but these are the things you have to do. And I think in his mind, he's bigger than, excuse my language, than fucking up.
Right.
I ain't, you know, why do I need to fuck up? You know what I'm saying? I got, you know, this money, like he's a billionaire and he's still playing. Like there's no need.
Let's take it back. You know, at age 22, 23, even under 30, to be honest, all that money, women throwing themselves at you, just all the shit you can get into. You think he's just that mature to just, nah, I'm gonna focus on this. I got my wife or girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
And just not indulge in none of that.
Yeah, I think his plan. Think about his plan though. Not only is he the first billionaire, but he's the first person to do it with his crew. Now, you know, you had a crew when you first got in the league in 92. Right. Where they at now?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. He told his crew, look, it's going to take me 4 to 5 years to get good at this game. Go to college, go hang out with Buffett. In 4 to 5 years, I'm going to bring y'all back after y'all got y'all degrees and y'all got whoop, and him and Maverick and everybody else. And they just, you know, that's the biggest thing that everybody always misses about LeBron. He started from the bottom with that crew and he's still banging out with that crew. I had 5 crews since, you know what I'm saying? Some of them still around, but most of them just, hey, they went on their own way or they done something they wasn't supposed to be doing or whatever. But he, you know, to have that vision at 18, 19 years old to say, hey, man, I know y'all want to hang out with me and get the gold ropes and the women and party. No, go to school, go to college, hang out with an old dude named Buffett and let him teach you, an old white dude at that. Like these cats is coming from Akron and you telling them to go hang out with an old white dude. Nah, you're going to learn something from this old dude, man. Oh, man, this is boring. He listening to this, that, and other. But then they come back 5, 6 years later and then they take what he's, you know, all over the top. So, you know, that's commendable. And you know, it's a trip because his basketball mind is just bananas. The fact that how he can recoil stuff, you know, every time I see him, I'm still shocked that he like said, "What up? Whoa, how's Sydney? How's this? How's this?" And running down my kids, and I'm like, "Bro, I hadn't seen you in 7 years." Like, and in the last 7 years I saw you, it was this. What up? Because I'm on the broadcast, and you just happen to be in layup line. And the fact that he can run all that down, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about I mean, it's hard because you got tons of teammates that you played with on that roster. But remembering your kids' names? And I mean, and I never played with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I never played with him. I just had him take pictures with the little ones. And he like, oh, yeah, whoa, how so? And they say balling or they this. And I'm like, I'm looking at him like, this dude right here, another level.
Yeah. I would have conversation about that, like just the maturity that he has. Just, you don't hear anything, you know, bad about him at all. Like that's crazy.
And there's OGs. I mean, you know, Barack, Jay-Z, you know, the OGs that say, hey man, look here. Because like even if we were to talk to him right now, we would tell him like, nah, man, it's cool, but go get the $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? The fun that we had, me and you had, it was cool, but go get the $1 billion.
Right. But you know, at that age, we don't listen. I know I didn't listen. You know what I mean? I thought I knew everything. So just, you know, just for him to take advice and listen at that age is it's incredible. You know what I mean?
Here's one OG story that I got. My rookie year, we played in Detroit, and like I said, when I got in the game, I went to my idols and I went to go shake their hand, regardless of what the game was going on. And I went up to Isaiah and shook his hand. He was like, "Said I want to talk to you after the game." And I was like, "Oh, first of all, they're Detroit bad boys. What did I do? Did we fight? You know, we got to fight. What's going on?"
Right.
And for him, like I said, 4th to the last pick, 2nd round, barely playing. Take 45 minutes out of his time afterwards to tell me, basically, You don't need to go run out and get that big car. You don't need to go out and get that big house. That's for later. You don't even got your family set. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? A little apartment will do, a small house will do, a cool car will do. Like he just broke it down to me. So I'm thinking, if I'm that little dude on the totem pole, just think when LeBron comes out, he's in high school, junior high school, predicted to be everything. And he's got all these influences and what they taught him and what they little, sprinkle their little salt on him, their little sugar on him so he can be who he is. I could just imagine. Because like I said, that was the only guy who took me under the wings of Isaiah and just pulled me aside, said, this is what you need to do with your money. You go buy $100,000 car, but if you put that $100,000 in this, it's going to get you this, that, and the other.
So Isaiah was someone you personally listened to. You took his advice, his word.
Yeah. That's why, like you said, like you don't know what car that was. That was a Mustang. Like I'm in the league, and I was already on my second contract, but I was still rocking my Mustang. I was still rocking a Jeep Cherokee. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things. And then when I bought a Benz, it wasn't the high end 700, 600. You know what I'm saying? It was the 320. The little. The minimum joint, and it, it didn't really matter because like that's the first thing you said. Oh, I remember that car you had, and that wasn't, that was a $20,000, maybe a $20,000 car.
Right.
It wasn't 100, 200,000 like these guys got. I mean, but the money is totally different now because buying a Bentley or a Rolls is like handkerchief money to these cats right now.
So what's the biggest thing you splurged on in your NBA times that you regret? Like if you had to do it over again, you'd be like, man, I wouldn't buy that.
It would be tickets. No, excuse me, records. Now
records.
The technology is taking over. Technology is taking over, and everything's on laptop. I'm like, dude,
what you was buying a bunch of vinyl, 12 inches?
Man, every time we went to New York City, I shipped about five on the plane and about 10, 15 on through the mail. I mean, I got so many records, it's ridiculous. Like now they're coming back, but it's still not like that. I think I spend a little bit too much money on records, CDs, movies, Virgin Records. I don't know if you guys remember, it's not around anymore, but Virgin Records, man, I would go into Virgin Records on Sunset, man, and buy 200 movies. Just buying I got VHS tapes up the yin yang, man, that I don't really need. And only ones that are really worth anything are the Disney movies, the Lion Kings, and and all that. But all the rest of them, technology kind of just took over, and you don't need them. You can put them all on disc. You can have them on your phone. You can have them. So I think that was the biggest splurge.
Do you even still try to spin with vinyl, or you just let it go?
Yeah. No, I still spin a little. I don't take them nowhere. I mean, I spin at home on them, but not.
Okay. Yeah, you would have to bring some crates with you. I remember them days. So here's a good question by Golf King. Appreciate that super chat. He says, Cedric, who is your NBA Mount Rushmore?
Oh man, first I got to start.
4 people. Mount Rushmore is 4, right?
Probably it's 4 Rushmore, but I think 5. I think he may be starting the top 5. My GOAT, my all-time best player ever to touch a basketball, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
And let me break that down to those that be like, what? Over Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron? What? Are you kidding? Kareem, he was the only player that they outlawed something for. They outlawed dunking because of Kareem. You cannot dunk the basketball because of that. They didn't take anything away from Jordan. They didn't take anything away from LeBron, Kobe. Now they widened the lane because of Wilt Chamberlain, and they brought the zone back because of Shaq. But they didn't take nothing out. They said, you're so good at dunking, take it out. Nobody can do it no more. So that's number 1. 2, he's an all-time leading scorer in the NBA without handling the basketball. He had to wait for somebody to give it to him. He didn't have a crossover, didn't have a handle, and he didn't have a jump shot, nor did he have three-pointer. So for him to mount all those points waiting, like he couldn't get it off the board like Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe and go all the way and score. He couldn't, like, y'all get out of the way, ISO, you know what I'm saying? He had to wait for somebody to hand him the ball, and then he'd go to work. Still the most unstoppable shot, the sky hook. So Kareem to me is an all-time, and he was for all y'all sneakerheads out there, he was the first person to have the $100 shoe. Matter of fact, it was a $120 shoe. It was the Form by Adidas, the top 10. buy Adidas. The first $100 shoe I asked my mom for, she's like, "Boy, you crazy? You ain't buying no $100 tennis shoes for you." Jordan obviously on there. LeBron is on there. I don't put Kobe on my top 5 list because of positionings. I got to go with Tim Duncan, and yeah, I got that. That's my all-time right there. So you put them 5 and match it.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one. I'll give you that. So let me get to these questions. Thank you, Anthony Falia, for that super chat. He says, "What is Cedric's take on Winning Times, and was Dr. Jerry Buss close to the character portrayed by John C. Reilly?" Have you watched that? The Winning Times?
I haven't watched it yet. I am a binge watcher, but I don't like to watch. Tune in to the next bat channel. I don't like to do that. I like to wait till it's over with and then watch all of it. So I haven't watched it yet. I can't wait to watch it though.
Yeah, it's good, Ced. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get a kick out of it because you probably can relate to all that stuff, to be honest. It's too bad you haven't watched that out. Like your take on that was kind of real and what wasn't. Any more questions out here before I get to the nitty gritty?
I could get into the Forum Club, which was unbelievable. Like I had one experience in the Forum Club, and that was all it was. That one time was enough for me. I did not go back.
So what was so unbelievable about it?
I mean, the attention that I got after the game from people that I shouldn't be getting attention. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it was, powder over here and partying over here, and I was just like, yeah, this is just too much for it. And I grew up in LA, so I just was a little bit too much for me, and I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna stay out of the Forum Club because it's too turned up. It's too turned up. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can remember Sugar Hill, when Melo was like, "Hey man, you on the balcony right now? It's time to go home." I had that inner Melo saying me, "Hey, said it's time to go home. Get out of this place. This is, I couldn't handle it. Like, I don't know how the guys handle it. I don't know how Madge and Worthy and Coop, and Nixon, all those guys handle it, man. It's a whole nother world, man. I can't compare it to anything. I can't compare it to New York City. I can't compare it to Vegas, Chicago, nothing. Miami. I lived in Miami. I can't. It's way above my pay grade.
Yeah, so like that, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I couldn't have been in there at that time, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Who was the best shot blocker you played with on the Lakers?
Shot blocker. When I played with Eldon and Vlade, they were pretty good. Shaq, obviously, great shot blocker. Eddie Jones was pretty good blocking shots too. So that's,
All right. Also, thank you, Anthony, again. He says, "How was your relationship with Dr. Buss?"
Oh, dope, man. Me and Buss is real cool.
Seemed like a cool owner from what I'm watching on the show.
Yeah. So, I don't know how the show is, but I'm telling you, he was a good dude, man. Really good dude. Just up front, I never negotiated with him with contracts, but I would bet it was probably a breeze. Like, what you want, man? Like, nah, we can't give you that. How about this? And, so I don't know, but I know it'd have been probably kind of hard though when you negotiating with your buddy. But that's probably what it felt like if you did negotiate with Dr. Buss, man. It's just like, man, you don't want to leave LA. Like, come on, man, take less money, but you're gonna have fun. Like, I don't know, but he's a good dude, really good dude. Miss him.
So, do you think you got your proper dues or credit playing in NBA? Do you think you're kind of underrated?
Yeah, I'm definitely underrated. I mean, but I was right for my position. I didn't have a big story. You know what I'm saying? Like the 4th to the last pick. I got to the All-Star game once. I got voted a couple times. I had one MVP vote in '95. So when you
look at even making it to the NBA, first of all, that's a accomplishment. But even to get an MVP vote,
yes,
like how many? You know what I mean? Shit.
Yeah. So thanks, Mom, for that vote.
That's huge. Because we'll be here all day. We're gonna get to this. I'm gonna show you this video, and then we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna let this go. Let me make sure I add this.
what he decides to do. Well,
You know
he's
you
going
know
to
what
bring
I'm
out a
doing.
blindfold.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it. He got Dan Marley, the blindfold.
I'm gonna let this roll through and then we'll go back through.
Now we got some creativity here now.
What, do me a favor. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, they can still hear you.
Okay. Watch the end of it. Watch the end of it. That's the most important part. And I'm gonna come back to it after it's over. Watch it after I dunk the ball. Look at the hate. Look at the hate right there. Look at the hate. I'm gonna talk about that too. Look at the hate.
Well, I hope he can see how it is because I hope he don't hit that rim head first. I'm not believing this. Blind. Here comes Ceballos. Yes!
That's MC Hammer right there, right?
Hammer.
Shit.
That's the Dikembe Mutombo, Otis Thorpe, Charles Barkley, Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, Magic.
So it's gonna replay again in slow mode, and we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Cedric Ceballos dedicating that brilliant dunk that finally
Ooh,
got
Reggie
the crowd
Lewis. Oh,
aroused
rest in peace,
to
man.
Magic Johnson, and on that dunk, Magic, a perfect score of 50 for Cedric Ceballos, the only one tonight.
Hey, finally we got something that just got everybody aroused, everybody's anticipation up.
You know, Magic, the interesting thing about it was we didn't get anything like this until he had the competition won. This was
Dennis
the
Scott
first
outfit
risky
on. What is he
dunk,
wearing?
and it was done after he had it won.
Boy, the timing was beautiful.
Cedric Ceballos with his hocus pocus dunk wins.
All right, let me let you just go ahead and break it down. I'll bring it back if we need to bring it back.
No, we don't need to bring it back. First things first, we're going to go back to college. They had an all-star, senior all-star camp in Orlando, Florida, where all the top all-stars that were supposed to get drafted, they can come and, add to their, chances of getting drafted, kind of like a combine now that you guys do. So we were in Orlando. I led that tournament in scoring, and they had a dunk contest. So I'm in the finals with D Brown, and it was sponsored by Converse. But during the dunk contest, I had to pump it. I had the Reebok pumps on, so I'm pumping it up. I do the dab dunk. Everybody going crazy. I do bounce, windmill. I do the bounce, reverse. And then we both get drafted. He goes to Boston. He gets a lottery pick. He goes to Boston. Boston sucked then, so he got to play. I went to Phoenix. Phoenix was nice, so I didn't get to play. So the NBA, if you're playing and people know you, they'll put you in a dunk contest. They usually don't put guys that are not playing in the dunk contest. So I think at that time I was maybe averaging maybe 6 or 7 minutes a game, and he was, playing starting and all that. So he goes in our rookie year, 90-91, and pumps up the shoes. So I'm at home like, really, you gonna take my shit? He does the dab dunk. He does the revert. He does all my dunks that I beat him in the senior classic. So when we play Boston in Boston, after that, I run right up to him like, I need my percentage. I need my percentage. I'm like Bernie Mac. I'm gonna get my percentage. I need my percentage because he done took all my stuff, and only me and him and everybody that was in Orlando at the time know that. So he's like, no, I'm like, all right. So now that summer, I gotta play well. I gotta start getting better because I gotta get back in the dunk contest because he's gonna try to get his crown back. He's gonna try to defend his championship. So I gotta beat the champion. All right, come up. So at the time, Magic had just announced he had HIV and he retiring, but they voted Magic into the All-Star game as a starter, so he was gonna play. So we're playing in the Forum, and I'm a young guy, my second rookie year, because we didn't have a rookie the second year. So I got to get there early and warm up and shoot around. And Magic is working out, getting ready for, Orlando for the All-Star game. He like, yo, man, what you going to do, man? D came all the way. You're going to have to come blind, man, all the way. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking about that. So I go back to Phoenix and talk to the Phoenix Suns gorilla. And I was like, yo, what's up with the blindfold thing? He's like, yo, we did that. We did this spoof, and be kind of dope if you did it. And so I'm thinking, okay, let me look at the lineup. They had Larry Johnson, Grandmama, Sean Kemp, who had been in 3 of them before and hadn't won. They got John Starks, who was playing in the All-Star game. They had Nick Anderson, who was plays for Orlando. So I'm like, little old me, all right, how can I get my name out there? I got to do some cool dunks, but if I get eliminated, I was the first player to call the NBA ahead of time and tell them I was going to do this dunk. And they was like, well, when are you going to do it? I said, if I get eliminated, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to mess up the competition by doing it. So if I get eliminated, allow me to do another dunk. And they was like, all right, cool, no problem. So I just kept getting on to the next round and winning. And then when I won the dunk, and I was like, they was like, you gonna do it? You already won. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Called Dan Marley over. And it was supposed to be a spoof. So I was supposed to almost break my neck. The mascots was gonna come run out with the stretcher. They was gonna put the ball on the stretcher and then run out. It would have been a nice, funny joke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Forget about the athlete. The more important thing is the basketball. They was gonna use it in commercials. It was all set.
Right.
My dumb ass made the dunk. Now, like I said, like after I made it, if you look, because I dunk and I hold on and I look at the mascots that are over here, and I'm like, it's party time. Now I tried to make that dunk a lot of times, could not make it, like barely made it, like 1.5, barely made that dunk, and it just so happens that the gods and everybody had lined it up. And that was supposed to be a commercial. It was supposed to
be a spoof.
That was supposed to be a spoof. It was supposed to be a spoof the whole time. When I take off, I'm not even looking at the rim. I'm just waiting, you know what I'm saying, to get some contact with something so I can go, whatever. It was supposed to be a spoof. Like NBA is fan, you know how they had a bloopers.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be the spoof. And then after I made it, it was like party time. But I had already won and got my respect. So as much as people were like, he did that to win. Like, no, I didn't do it to win. It was supposed to have been a spoof. I had already won the contest.
So let me get this right. There's supposed to be a spoof. You did this in practice before. Never made the dunk.
Never made the dunk. That's when we switched. Like, yo, let's do the spoof. And I was like, man, I'm gonna look like a fool. They was like, no, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna get paid for the commercial. It's gonna be great. They're gonna come out, Harlem Go, try their music, boom. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm like, all right. So we practiced it, did it a bunch of times. Boom. I looked at the film. Man, all right. That's going to be funny. Ready to do it. NBA was ready to do it. You know what I'm saying? NBA was ready to do it. They had everything set up, commercials, camera angles, this, that, and the other. But my dumb ass made the fucking dunk. But I still got paid for it. So I still got my Puma contract.
You know what's crazy? Because now that kind of, there's always the question, I'm sure you always get this, and I just put it up here. Could you see through the blindfold? Yeah. So obviously the purpose was not to see through the blindfold because it was supposed to be a spoof, right? So I guess that answers that question. I'm sure you get that question a lot though, right?
All the time. Like it's 30 something years, man. Still get that question. So yeah, no, I wasn't supposed to see. I was supposed to run into the stand, the basket, and it was supposed to have been a spoof. But I was the first one to have some props. To contact the NBA ahead of time to let them know. And that was just a regular thing. Like they all do that. They do the whole bring Kevin Hart out with the mailbag and I'm about to do the mailman dunk and that whole thing. So innovative.
That's some good inside info for real. I'm glad you shared that with us. Like who would have thought, like honestly. So did that propel your celebrityness as far as an NBA?
Yes. I mean, like before, I would put on a dunk show and warm-ups, but then I'd go sit down because I wasn't playing in the games. But now everybody would come early, get especially when you went to like the New Yorks, the Bostons, the Chicagos, places where basketball is really big. Oh, they show up early for that warm-up line, man, and just be like, oh, and then I get a chance to dunk the basketball. It's crazy. It's bananas because after I came back. I don't know who was doing Jockey Club at the time, but they was like, "Yo, you got to bring the trophy and have this." And at the time, I wasn't even old enough. You know what I'm saying? Because when I got in the league, I had just turned 19 in August. I got drafted in June. I got drafted in July. August, I turned 19, and then. So my second year, I was just 20. I wasn't even supposed to be in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? So they like having a party for a dude that ain't even supposed to be in the club, straight Justin Bieber style. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think the dunk kind of overshadowed your basketball career? Because I know, a lot of people, like I have to say, man, he's blindfold dunk. Oh, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did that kind of overshadow everything else, do you think, in your opinion?
Well, what's crazy is because at the time, our assistant coach, Lionel Hollins, he pulled me aside about a couple weeks after I won the dunk contest, and he was like, "Yo, man, what you gonna be? You know what I'm saying? You gonna be a Kenny Walker?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Are you just known for the great dunk contest that you had, or you gonna really try to work at this game and try to woo woo?" And that really hit home right there. Like, yeah, man, I don't want to be known just for that dunk contest. And that's when I started. I ended up starting at the end of the season or going into the playoffs, and then we get Charles Barkley the next year. We end up in the finals. I'm a starter, averaging close to 20 points. So that really changed. That put me on the map. But I knew I had a lot of work to do, and then I become an all-star when I get traded to the Lakers and the MVP vote, and so I was more known as a scorer, without any plays. Just put him on the court and you can get 20 points. But that's a lot of people remember the dunk contest though.
Right. I'm gonna get to this last question because I think we're gonna need to do a part 2 later on with Sid, because I actually want to get to some after. We did the before, we did some COVID stuff, but I actually want to get to the afterlife of basketball, some of the stuff, investments and some of the things, but we'll do that later. I'm gonna get to this last question and then we're gonna let Sid get out of here. But definitely appreciate you, Sid, coming in here doing this, man. Like even me, I could sit here and we could sit at a restaurant, chop this shit up because it's something interesting. But let me get to this. He says, we all know, this is Golf King, we all know the NBA players were in their suits back in the 90s, early 2000s. What's the most you ever spent on a suit, Sid?
I didn't. I spent $1,500 on a suit, but the dude tried to get me for $3,500. This cat out of Houston, my very first suit that I got when I got in the league. He's like, everybody was we went to play Houston. They went up to his room. He rented a room. And they got measured for a suit, and I didn't even know how much the suit cost. I just got measured for it, and I picked the material out. And then next time we saw Houston, he tried to give me the suit, and he was like, "Yeah, $3,500." I was like, "What? $3,500 for a suit? Heck no, I ain't paying no $3,500." So he kept the suit for like 2 years, man. He would always see me like, "Yo, I still got that suit." And then one summer league, he brought it to LA for summer league and tried to sell it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Man, I still got your suit, man. Give me $1,500, man. Come on, man, help me out." And I said, "All right." So I gave him $1,500 for it. So that's probably the most I spent. It's funny that Golf King said that, because I look at the guys now, and I wish we could have dressed the way they dress, man. Like, dude, I would have averaged at least 5 to 6 more points, man, if I didn't have to carry suits and pack suits, and I mean, they just be wearing just whatever. They be wearing just, oh man. I mean, if I didn't have to dress up, man, shoot.
Right.
That's a whole chore, packing all that stuff, man, for a 12, 13 game road trip.
Y'all would have 13 game road trips?
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah. Just San Antonio has it every year because they have a rodeo that comes into town, and they got to get out of their arena. So they got a 12 gamer every year, 11, 12 gamer every year.
Let me ask you this, because people ask me this. What's the biggest celebrity you could pick up and call and they'll answer the phone? That you have in your phone and you can call right now and they'll pick up and take your call.
To Magic and Barkley.
That's cool.
Yeah, to Magic and Barkley.
I was gonna say Barkley. I figured that.
Yeah, Magic. Those are the two biggest probably. That's not my star-studded one where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's him, was Michael Jackson. Like,
wow.
I thought it was an impersonator.
Michael Jackson called you? What was that about?
No, he didn't call me. I'm just saying
okay.
I met him and I was like,
you met him. Okay. So what was that like, meeting Michael Jackson?
Magic had just opened up his theaters, and me and Vivica Fox, at the time Vivica was dating Eldon Campbell, my teammate, and we just got out of practice and I was hungry, and Vivica's from the city, so she like, whatever, I ain't waiting for everybody else to eat, so she started eating, so I started eating too. So we over in the cut eating, and then Michael come slithering through by himself, no bodyguards or nothing. So I just was like, what? we was like, "It's an impersonator," like what?
Right.
Like, because he was so tiny, and then secondly, he had to hold the glove and the jacket and the socks, and I was like, I didn't think he dressed like that just casually. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, this dude's an impersonator. But then Magic was saying a speech, he jumped up on stage, and then Magic was like, "Oh, you made it, woo, woo, woo!" And I was like, "Oh shit!" I threw these chicken wings away, and I just followed him around like a little fly, like wherever Mike was at, I was at. He had no bodyguards. So then, they stopped with the speeches and they said, "You can go watch any movie you want to watch." So Mike, started walking around. He went into one theater, and then I went into that theater behind him, and he came back out, and I was like, "Whoa, yeah, it's some nice walls they got here." Like, I'm not trying to act like I'm not following him around.
Right.
And then he goes into another one, and I wait. I give it about 2 minutes, and he doesn't come out. So I go into there. It's dark. The previews had already started, and I see the socks. So I just in it's 4 seats. It's 2 on each side of him, and I just sat down. Was like, ooh. It ended up being the movie Sandlot, one of my favorite movies about the kid and the dog and the baseball and all that. And I'm goofing around with Mike, man. They bring in popcorn and whatever, and you want a popcorn, Mike? He's like, no, it's all right. And he's laughing. He's like, "Oh, the big dog." And so that's my stalker celebrity moment. Got to be able to watch Sandlot with Michael Jackson.
Right. There was that's cool. There was damn, I got to remember that question earlier. I wanted to get back to it. Give me a sec if I can get to that.
No, Prince and this dude, who is this? Rube Dub?
Dub. He's a Laker fan.
Yeah. No, Prince has a deep voice. Mike doesn't have a deep voice. Mike is real. He like almost whispers, but Prince has a really deep voice.
So you met Prince before? You probably met everybody before, practically, right?
Yeah. I haven't. No Oprah. I haven't met Oprah. Denzel lived close to me in L.A. in Brentwood, so I got to have an ice cream cone with him one day because he was sitting on the curb actually, and I was passing by and I was like, "Denzel, what up?" He was like, "Say it," because he obviously went to the Laker game. So I thought he was in trouble, you know what I'm saying? So I pulled over, like, "You all right? He's good?" He's like, "Nah, I just didn't want to get the ice cream in the Ferrari." And I was like, "Oh, baller shit right there. Okay,
right."
Baller. So I was like, "Yeah, let me grab one." He said, "Yeah, it's good, man." So we sat there and just chopped it up a little bit. Tom Hanks lived in the neighborhood too. So let me see who else I had not met. I met Barack. I didn't meet Michelle. She didn't come when I got invited to the White House. She didn't come out, but Barack came out, which was pretty cool. Met Clinton. He came to my college, actually. I had to really think about those I did not meet that I really wanted to meet, and I did not meet. Yeah.
It's thinking, playing for the Lakers, making an all-star team and all that stuff. It seemed like you'd have probably ran into everybody, it seems like, you know what I mean? That's what I'll be thinking. We got another question. Thank you for that super chat, Anthony. How is Shaq as a teammate? Also remember Eddie Jones and Van Exel as well. How is Shaq? Shaq seemed like a cool person. I met Shaq plenty of times, but he seemed
hilarious, funny, cool. Another guy that doesn't leave you out if you're hanging around him. Always a jokester, goofing around. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel. Nick is kind of quiet. Eddie's he laughs a lot. Big hip hop fan, rap music fan. Eddie is, but he stays towards the East Coast rappers. He thinks West Coast rappers are trash. But Shaq is funny, man. Good dude.
Back to the rapping. You rapped before. You rap, right? Didn't you dabble in that set?
Yeah. I had everybody grow up in the hood thinking they can be a rapper at some point or another. When you get an opportunity to be that, you try to take full advantage of it. It was a basketball compilation album, but I had already been in the rap trying to help youngsters in Arizona get to the Rhyming Weirdos. And
yeah, I remember that. I remember
Mike Mill and the Funky Monks. I tried to get them going. I actually got them in the Sources. If y'all remember when they had the Unsigned Hype, they had that article Unsigned Hype. It was the Rhyming Weirdos, and I got them in there with Biggie. So Biggie Smalls and the Rhyming Weirdos were, they were on the same article as the Unsigned Hype. Like before they got signed, they're supposed to be projected to be great. And but the collaboration was Basketball Best Kept Secret, and I had to buy Warren G a steering wheel because we were getting our Suburbans done at the same spot for the sound system and the TVs. And I bought Warren a steering wheel, a wooden steering wheel. And then I asked him, yo, could you do a track for me for this collabo album? So that was pretty cool, man. I got to record it in New York City in the Hit Factory, which Biggie, Michael Jackson, all these greats have been in there. Which was so dope. And I got to remix it in the same place in LA where they did We Are the World. Because I remember when they filmed all that, I was like, yo, this looked familiar. He's like, yeah, you probably saw it from after the Grammys and they recorded We Are the World. So that was, it was kind of cool. I had a whole album, but it wasn't super clean. It wasn't like hoochie booty shaking music, but it wasn't clean. And Allen Iverson came out with an album, and David Stearns put a halt to it. And I was like, I ain't coming out with this album. If David Stearns told AI not to come out with an album, I know he gonna just kick me out the league. So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't coming out with that album.
So would you consider yourself in the top 10 of NBA rappers?
Oh.
And who is in your top 10 or 5, or if you could think?
Yeah, Shaq has got to be one.
I was putting Shaq, yep.
Because he sold the most. I mean, nobody sold he sold more than real rappers. So
yeah, but do you think that's because of him being Shaq? Or I mean, Shaq can rap. I think he got some flow, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's him being Shaq, though, right?
He doesn't sell that many records for being terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like Dion's my man. You know what I'm saying? But that song was dope, but everybody wasn't gonna buy Dion's album. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is.
Right.
So I got to go with Shaq. Just
give me your top 5. That's gonna be
AI was dope. Kobe was dope. Kobe sounded like Jizzle.
Kobe was dope, really.
Yeah, that commercial stuff.
Next time we do an interview with you, I'm gonna definitely have a Kobe song ready to go.
No. That commercial stuff like I said, that commercial stuff that he put out is one thing. But the freestyles and the battles we had on the plane and the buses, he was like Jizzle, like from the Wu-Tang, and I don't know, why he put the Tyra Banks joint out and that. I don't know. I have no idea why he put that out. Chris Webber was kind of decent. I think Chris was just he's so big. That's the wonderful thing about Shaq. Being so big, he was confident about his bigness, and he had no shame in it. I think when it came to rapping, Chris kind of brought himself down a little bit instead of being the big man that he is. Let me see who else. Like I said, AI's was sick, but it just was, a lot of film farm and fuck this and shit and this, that, and the other. And, all that. So they was like, nah. But it's no dark horses. Dana Barrows.
Are you in the top 10 though? Are you in the top 10?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in the top 5.
Oh, you're in the top 5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the top 5 because on that album, only me and Dana were the only ones who wrote our own songs. Mm-hmm. Everybody else had somebody write. Jason Kidd had Money B from Digital Underground write his. Spice One wrote Gary Payton's. They had people. They had ghostwriters. We was the only two that wrote our. Even Shaq, somebody wrote Shaq's song that was on there, but we the only ones had our own bar. We wrote the whole song.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Top 5 said, all right. So you still said you DJ and all that. This is what we're gonna do, y'all, because me personally, I got a lot of questions said, but like I said, we'll be here all night. We're gonna come back and do a part 2 with said later, because you definitely got a lot of interesting stories for sure. And I'm sure you already gave us a lot of good stuff that a lot of people didn't know. But I appreciate you, man, for coming on here and doing this for real. Like I really appreciate this. And definitely we're gonna do a part 2. And everybody that came in here, if you got any last question before we let them go, better be something good. Hit it to me right now. We're gonna just get one more, and then we're gonna say
I say that Anthony Falla. Best West Coast rapper, Tupac or Nipsey. I got Tupac as being the GOAT all time. You know what I'm saying? I got Rakim and Jay-Z at a tie at maybe 5. I got Snoop in there because I'm a West Coast.
Now let me ask you this, Sid. Why wouldn't you have Jay-Z at number 1?
What
are you going by? Just strictly. Go ahead.
Let me get to the end of it. Let me get to the end of it. And I got Biggie and Pac 2-1. And the reason I have that, and I have Jay-Z where it is, because Biggie and Pac to me were like Marvin Gaye and Rick James.
Okay.
Rick James party and women and party and gangster. Whoa. That's what Biggie gave us. Now, so be it. He only had a short time to give us what he gave us, but that's what he gave us. Jay-Z, I have never cried off a Jay-Z song. I have never respected women off a Jay-Z song. I had never disrespected women off a Jay-Z song. Tupac gave you Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye gave you when Marvin was horny, let's get it on. When he was revolutionary, what's going on? When he was, let's go, fight the power. Let me think. Let me be cordial and courteous to women. Pac gave you everything. He made you a rebel. He made you cry off of Dear Mama and Heaven Got a Ghetto, all that stuff. He made you a revolutionary, like holla if you hear me. He made you all that stuff, man. His emotions of the body of work that he did, he gave you everything. Jay-Z, yeah, he got bars and he got some cool albums, but I'm only getting one emotion from Jay-Z. I'm partying. Even his song with Mary J, Song Cry. I gotta let the song cry. It's cool, it's dope. I'm not shedding a tear. You know what I'm saying? And it may be because Jay-Z's alive and Pac died, and I got a lot of emotion for Pac because he passed away. But when it's been times that y'all heard Dear Mama and be like, oh my God, he went deep on that one. It's songs that you hear from Pac that just make you feel all kind of emotions. He made you, be a whore. You know what I'm saying? He made you, respect women. You know what I'm saying? Brenda had a baby. Everybody got a Brenda that had a baby. I just think that Biggie and Jay-Z, they didn't give me all that emotion. They only gave me one emotion, man. Let's sell drugs, let's party, pop champagne, and some gangster shit. That's it. That's all they gave me. They didn't give me no more emotion.
Did you know Pac or have a relationship with him?
I met Pac on the dance floor. That was it. We was back to back. Back to back.
I could just see you hanging out with Pac for some reason.
Nah, I didn't get to hang out with Pac. Right. I didn't get to hang out with Pac. Like I was that was the Suge. When he came to LA, it was the Suge era.
Right.
And I had already experienced the Suge era, and I was like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. So Snoop, hanging out with Snoop, I got to see a lot of that. Hanging out at Dre's house, I got to see a lot of that Suge, and I was like, nah, I'm cool. Like, beating the motherfucker's ass for this, that, and the other, and I, I just was like,
Yeah, that's crazy. The reason I say I bring up Jay-Z, because people would always ask me, because I was when I played for the Cowboys for you, I was real cool with Emmett. And we would have conversations like no one would ever put him as a top running back ever. Like, it was like Barry Sanders, Walter Payton. Mm-hmm. And I always had Emmett number one because of the whole body of work and longevity. Now, if you had to pick a running back for just one certain year, yeah, you could go with a Walter Payton or, Adrian Peterson but knowing that I played football, knowing how hard it is to last each year I think Emmett did 17 years. Yeah. So you have to take that into big consideration. We always say, well, if Barry Sanders would have played longer, that's an if. I don't give me no ifs. So I always put me personally, just because of the longevity of Jay-Z, you know what I mean? Especially with the mumble rap and all the other shit that's going on for the past 10 years. That's why I always put Jay-Z number one. Now we always say, well, if Tupac was still alive, but we're still going by ifs. So
yeah. So if you break mine down with rappers that are still, and then you're going off just like we went off of Shaq. Shaq sold the most and made the most albums, so obviously I got to put him number one. But he was pretty good. So same thing with Jay-Z. Jay-Z is ill. He sold more than Nas. He did more than Rakim. But I still think my number one album from front to back, playing it all the way through, is Redman. Redman's first album is the illest hip hop album I have ever heard. You know,
Right.
but if y'all go back, listen to it from beginning to end, you know, Reggie Noble was sick to me. That first album, the second and third album didn't do that for me, but the first album just did that for me. And I don't know if it's just because of that era or what have you, but just Jay-Z, like I said, you know, you stated it with the if, you know, if Big was here, and then you got to think Jay-Z wasn't Jay-Z until Big left.
True.
You know what I'm saying? His style changed up because he was the. That's how his style was when he was with Jay-Z. Was it Jay-Z or Jazzo?
Yeah, he had another name before Jay-Z. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So he kind of evolved, and I understand that too. He kind of evolved too. So if you want to go living hip hop, I would put Jay-Z up there. But the reason why I have Pac at number 1 is because I got so much emotion for all of his music. You can do anything to his music. If you just want to sit back and chill, you can listen to Pac. If you want to go party, you can listen to Pac. You want to go smoke, you can listen to Pac. If you want to fight, you had a rebel, you had a cause that you were fighting for, that you could stand up for, you can listen to Pac. Same thing you can do with Marvin Gaye. So
is Nas in your top 5?
No, Nas.
No. Is he in your top 10?
That's a good question.
So is Redman in your top 10 since you like
no. Redman's not in my top 10.
I'm just trying to get where you're coming from. All right.
Yeah, Redman's not in my top 10, but that album, like listening from front to back, just like The Chronic and Snoop's first album, is you can listen to it. Now Jay-Z's Black album, oh my God, it's crazy. Jay-Z's Black album was crazy. Right. Like I put that in my top 10, all 5, top 5, all best albums. But to me, that Reggie Noble, What the album is just classic.
So where do you put Eminem and Snoop on your list?
Yeah, I'm not even an Eminem guy. I'm not an Eminem. I know he got lyrics and I know he got cadences. I got Snoop in the top 10. And it's just personal. Not that they're terrible or they not this or that. I heard Dre gave me Eminem's tape way before, like a year before Eminem came out, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought I'm like, yo, he is funny as hell. Like, how is he putting all this together in a comical way? Like more like Slick Rick, you know. Like I put Slick up there. If Slick hadn't went to prison, I put what's my man that him and Puffy had the gun charge with. And as a matter of fact, I saw him in Israel too when I was there. And I can't remember his name, but him and Puffy had the gun charge with J-Lo. Mm-hmm. His first album was pretty good too.
I just can't think of the name though.
Yeah.
So you playing in LA, basically, you pretty much ran in everybody in there. I'm sure people, you playing with the Lakers, even like a Dr. Dre probably was a fan of yours, and you know what I mean. You said he let you listen to some music before it even came out.
Yeah.
Like when you look back on all that stuff, like how does that feel? Like that's, you know what I mean? I mean, I played with the Cardinals, but it's nothing like what you did with the Suns and the Lakers, and you know what I mean? I mean,
it's crazy. I mean, you got to dabble with it because there's only 3 teams in sports that have an appeal like nobody else.
Right.
And that's the Lakers, the Cowboys, and the Yankees.
Right.
And I didn't experience, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I didn't experience that because I never played football. But LA was the only place, it was one other place that we ran out the tunnel and didn't get cheered, and that was in Boston. Okay. Everywhere else, it was more Laker fans there than there was their home team, Detroit, Chicago, whatever.
Same with that. So how was your adjustment coming, not to cut you, from the Suns to the Lakers?
Oh, huge. I mean, don't get me wrong. Charles kind of put us on the map when we kind of went to another. You was here for that, so we was okay. The Suns was kind of popular, but when Charles came, boom, new arena, new jerseys, all that. It just went to another level. But playing in LA was bananas. And then when Magic came back, oh my God! And then when you get Shaq and Kobe, it's just rock star status, man. It's showing up at the hotel. Get off the bus. It's a couple of autograph seekers out there, maybe 20, but now when you go play for Dallas, you get off the bus, it's 100, 200 people waiting to just see Emmett, waiting to just see Troy, waiting to see any Cowboy.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with the Lakers. You know, we had a little fanfare with Charles. Charles had a couple fans everywhere we went, maybe 20 to 50. But playing with the Lakers, man, it was 100, 200 people out there, man. Just wanting to see a Laker.
So y'all had to kind of move around like the president, because I remember coming from the Cardinals to the Cowboys, and it was a big shock. Like we really had to. I remember playing on that Monday Night Football game. We had to move around like we were the president. Like hotels were shut down. They just shut them off. You know what I mean? We had so many police escorts.
Yep.
Jerry had his own, you know, he had his own plane he would take. It was just kind of ridiculous. And we would have to wait on him and just different shit. But I was like, damn. Now they wasn't checking for me, but you know, I'm around Emmett and everybody else they was checking for. It was like really ridiculously crazy.
So here's the difference right here. When I was with the Suns, we had America West Airlines. We had a charter, but it was just a regular plane that everybody else rides on. And
right.
Just, you know, nobody else on the plane.
Right.
When I went to LA, Champion Air was big seats. They cooking filet mignon and shrimp, and I mean, it just a full bar. I mean, it just TVs everywhere. So it's just, you know, that was the difference in between. And you obviously you got stories too from going just the locker room, from going to a Cardinal locker room to a Cowboy locker room was like, matter of fact, not even the locker room, the equipment room. The Cowboys equipment room, the Lakers equipment room, and the Yankees equipment room is like you walked into a Foot Locker. Yeah. Like, oh my God, I need that. Give me that. Everybody just wanted gear from the Lakers. I know they wanted Cowboy gear. Yeah. It's a difference. It's just a big difference, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, all right, y'all, we way over time. All right, last one. When you got traded, or hold on, let me see, traded. When you got traded, or did you sign as a free agent from Phoenix to LA? Oh, yeah. What was that transaction when you went from? Did you get traded, or you was a free agent at the time when you went to LA?
Yeah. I got traded, and I was at home at the house in LA at the summer. I was at the house in LA in summertime, and then boom, it came across the ticker, and I'm like, boom, let me what? You know, I got traded. He's like, yeah, you got traded. You got a press conference. Go down to the press conference. So I just, you know.
So they just really do that shit without even letting y'all know ahead of time. They just really like.
I mean, they can. It's out of kind of like respect. You know what I'm saying? It's really up to you. If you got a note, you know, if you got a no trade in your contract, or you got it has to be approved by me, they let you know. But you know, like I said at the time, you know, I would say I was fourth on the totem pole. It was, you know, Barkley, Marley, KJ, and I was like fourth on, you know what I'm saying? So like, trade him away. Like whatever.
Right.
You know, no big deal. So
all right, we're gonna end it on that one, y'all, because like I say, we could be here all night. Sid, I'm gonna hit you after this, tell you about that concert stuff.
No doubt.
And then so all right, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate Sid, man. Y'all give whatever the emoji, the clap emoji in here real fast. Definitely appreciate this. Definitely gonna have you back, man, for sure. This was the first one, so it turned out pretty good. Glad to have you. And we gonna end it right there. And that's it. Appreciate you, Sid, like for real, man.
At Cedric Ceballos, if anybody want to follow.
Let me hold on, Sid. What's your Instagram?
At Cedric Ceballos. Because I think I put it under my thing.
Is it in there?
If you
mods,
take down this question.
Put that in there, please, mods. Put his link in there real fast before we get off.
If you take down the question, I think it'll come back up because I think I punched that in.
All right, let me take down this question.
Right there.
Y'all see that at Cedric Ceballos. There's a link. Monfu just put the link in there. I'm gonna stay in here for another minute just so people can see that. Definitely follow Ced. And he's got a golf tournament coming up in October. But
my first golf tournament. Yeah, we'll do that part 2.
We'll do that on part 2. And
real sports stuff.
Yeah. Who this is your first one, you said, right? Oh, you started being funny. Who do you have you sent out invitations, or do you know who's going to be in it yet, or you just?
It's not a celebrity.
It's not a celebrity.
Nah, it's
what type is it?
I play in tons of golf tournaments. One being in Phoenix, that's all I do is play golf out here. Dallas too as well. They don't play. I don't get to play too much in LA for some reason. I don't know why.
So can a regular fan just get into it?
Yeah, anybody can.
I know
But
Golf
this is the thing
King will
about it.
probably want to do that.
It's a lot of golf beef out there. People talk, oh man, I'm this, that, and the other. So I didn't want people to come in there and be like, oh, let's play a scramble and the best ball and all that. Like, let's do like the PGA. Let's play a real tournament. Like, you keep your own score. Like, obviously, I don't want you out there all day, so you're gonna pick up after you hit par. But I wanted to be there, and I got these huge. Matter of fact, let me hold on. Let me grab this belt.
All right. Yeah, take your time. We here. Said we lost your audio. Hold on. Let me see if that's. Hold on. That's me probably. Hold on. Said you got to unmute your mic. We lost your
there
mic.
we go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, see, I got this huge belt, so you walk away with a belt, big championship belt, bag and belt. So I just wanted it to be, people competing, real, not real pro golfers, but I wanted you to, walk away like you did something, not just like you got a cool burger and a cool little meal and a little grab bag, you know what I'm saying? For those that want to compete, there's only 72 spots too. So I'm not trying to overdo it, but all the money is going to my first scholarship to Cal State Fullerton where I went to school. So so there it is. If you guys follow me on all my social media platforms if y'all want to play, and then we'll talk about it more on part 2.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Sid, we're gonna let you get out of here. Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna hit you in a few on that little stuff we was talking about, and we're gonna get on out of here, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. All right, y'all. Hopefully y'all liked that, enjoyed that. And yeah, we're gonna do more of these for sure. If you guys like these, get some behind the scenes and then some where are they at now type of stuff. But you guys definitely hit the comments on this video when it goes up on YouTube, and just like give me some suggestions on who you guys, I ain't gonna be able to hit up Michael Jordan, or you know what I mean, be realistic. Some celebs or athletes you guys might want to see interview, kind of ask questions, because actually Sid told me some stuff that I didn't really know, especially that slam dunk contest stuff. Who knew that was supposed to be a spoof or a joke, and it ended up making him kind of elevating his celebrity status. Who knew that? So yeah, you guys definitely leave a comment in there, and definitely hit Sid up on his Instagram page. Tell him what you thought. Give him some love, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Nurse Viv is gonna come on later and do something later because she's always up all night. So appreciate y'all stopping in, man. Y'all had some good questions, and yeah, until next time, I guess we will see y'all. But this is what I want to do. All that walking up and down the strip, arguing with showgirls and all that shit. Nah, I'm gonna stick to this, y'all. So, all right, y'all. Peace out. Wish I could just sit here and talk to y'all all night, but I don't know. I gotta catch up on some shows. How was that? Has anybody in here watched what's the show? The shit on Netflix, Stranger Things. Who's watched this season that just came out? And how was that? Because I think I need to get into that tonight. Anybody? Thumbs up. Is it good? Stranger Things. Anybody? Where is Redub, you still in here? Who's watched Stranger Things? Somebody give me a report on Stranger Things before I get out of here. It's good. My family loved it, says Mom Food. Okay. Mayans, not so sure. All right, you guys. Jimenez Video Productions will be live in 30 minutes. Y'all check him out. Put the link in here, Jimenez. Also, I want to give a shout out to Shoe Shine Boxer, man, big time. He helped me set this thing up as far as getting a video in here and all that. Like, man, big shout out, Savior. He walked me through some stuff on this Stream app earlier today. I think he popped in here for a minute. But y'all definitely go check out Shoe Shine Boxing. I don't know his link to his page. If somebody has it, definitely put it in here. But definitely shout out to Shoe Shine Boxing, man. He a good dude, like really a good dude. Like, so he really helped me set this thing up as far as using the StreamYard and being able to put videos in here and all that. So shout out to Shoe Shine for sure. And yeah, if y'all want to listen to some good music, Jimenez, did you put your link in here before I click off? Put your link in here, man, before I get out of here. I'll give you a minute. If anybody has Jimenez link, go ahead and put it in here, and then I'm gonna sign out. But Jimenez, man, if you go live, dude, you got to do the boogie, man. You can't play music without boogieing, all right? You have to do whatever that's called, Lindsay. You know what I'm talking about, that boogie he does. Lindsay, what do you call that? But all right, did we get his link in here yet? Because I got to get out of here. Lindsay says, good night to the awesome mods and all the dope peeps in the chat, and to Derek for bringing us an awesome interview with the great Cedric Ceballos. Yeah, Sid might be able to help me get Barkley in here for about 5 minutes. So definitely Sid's a good dude, like for real. For real. All right, I think that was Jimenez's channel. Mom Food just put in there. But I'm going to check it out in about 30 minutes. Jimenez, listen to some music, kick back, blah, blah, blah. Today's Friday, huh? Feels like a Thursday to me. Tomorrow we'll probably go out and do something. I was going to do something tonight, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Kind of just want to chill. There is Jimenez's channel from Mom Food. Johnny Jimenez. If you like old school, definitely check him out. If you like new school, don't check him out. And I will see y'all on the next sports talk. Peace out, y'all.